go riding with the Rabbi.
Okay, I'm here in Yerushalayim. I'm at the headquarters of United Hatzalah, waiting for my ride. I know they have a very quick response time. We're going to talk about that a little bit. But you'll see, we're going to hear a lot from one of the greatest people you've ever met. And, you know, it's a busy day here in Yerushalayim. It's summer, it's August, it's warm, it's beautiful. You can see here behind us we have the Strings Bridge, the main headquarters. And up here is the main headquarters of United Hatzalah. You have to be careful not to get hit. And if you look over here, you can see all the ambucycles lined up. But I'm getting a special ride today, a very, very special ride today, in which, you know, we're going to see a little bit firsthand how United Hatzalah works. Oh, here's my ride. Here it is right now. Okay. I know what I mean by a Mini Cooper. This is a mini car, and it's a lot bigger than my rental car right here. But oh, look at the chashuva driver I have. Look what I have today.
Come join me for a little ride.
Let's go take a ride, okay? What do you say? Come on in. Thank you so much. We'll see you in a bit. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Riding with the Rabbi. We had a great introduction right there. And look at this amazing driver that I have today. I'm sure everyone knows who I'm with. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again, that there are very few times in your life that you'll meet one single person who changed the entire world. And I have the privilege today to sit in a very, very small car with such an individual, with the one and only, indefatigable Eli Beer. Eli, how are you?
Being with you in a little tiny car in Yerushalayim called a mini Lance. It's like a mini little ambulance.
Is it more mini or more ambulance?
I think it's a mini both. It's a mini and an ambulance. It has all the medical equipment here in the back. It has lights and sirens. And
you have a Ramkol?
I have a Ramkol here, right here. I can
yell at this kid to get
yell out here in Yiddish if I want. We're in Mesharim. And
Mincha.
What could be better? Yeah, at center. I can do it center here.
We could use one of those in Livingston. We'll drive around and see any tents of the minion.
You get a lot of people to come shul this way.
That's pretty good. The problem is we can only pick one up at a time.
Exactly.
Wait.
This is not a Tesla, but it's electric.
It's okay. So we care. So United Hatzalah saves lives and cares about the environment. I love it. So we just left your headquarters. Tell me we've done an episode before with the great Mara Soverinsky, of course, talking about the work of United Hatzalah. She is great. She's fantastic, and this is also serves as a bit of a preview because in October, after Sukkot, Eli Beer will be joining us for Shabbos at Eitz Chaim, which I'm very, very excited about. But tell me, what's the latest and greatest in United Hatzalah these days?
Well, you know, we always think about getting to an emergency in 90 seconds. So everything has a purpose. It's like an army. You need the foot soldiers who are volunteers running to calls by foot. Then you have volunteers on the ambucycles, which are the elite forces. They're the ones who arrive quickly enough. They don't get stuck in traffic, and they get there first. But not everyone can go on an ambucycle. Like, Rabbi, you ever going on an ambucycle? I want to take you on an ambucycle today.
It was a little harder to film. It would be harder to film like on that, but yeah.
Yeah, but
this works out
ambucycle is the best way for arriving immediately.
Because you can zigzag in through,
right.
Yeah.
This little vehicle we have is very unique. We take yeshiva buffers. We're not usually serving in the army, and we give them an opportunity to serve a 2-year program in United Hatzalah, and they get this little mini Lance, and they get a Gemara. They can sit and learn Torah here, and have 2 volunteers. We're doing the civil service, it's called, and they respond to emergency calls with this vehicle. They have the medical supplies here. We train them.
The back here.
The defibrillator and everything is here, so they can get there. It's narrow enough, not like an ambucycle, but it could go on a sidewalk. It could park in between cars. It could go to situations where we have we don't have enough room to pass, and we get there with these ambucycles. Then we have these mini Lances. Then we have, of course, ambulances, which is 100 years old, but we have very advanced ones. And now we just got 2 active helicopters and 1 extra on call. So it's 3 helicopters that are on call to rescue people.
Where you spread them around the country? Where are they based?
It's
a big secret. You can't tell me.
No, they're based. One is based in the Negev,
Okay.
very far from hospitals, and one is based in Eilat, another one, and then they have the third one in the Golan Heights, which or near the Golan Heights, and it goes to all the events that are there. Our goal is the golden hour, 90 seconds to arrive and stabilize people, and then get them to the hospital in the golden hour. And if someone lives in Dimona or in the Golan Heights and they get injured or they get sick, by the time they get to these emergencies, we can get there quick because we have volunteers who are local, but then they have to get to the hospital and then they're stuck. How do you get to the hospital? 1.5 or 2 hours drive on an ambulance. It's too much.
Oh, I know. I was in Tzfat the other day.
Oh, look who I see here. Another volunteer.
See, look, all over the place.
Look at this.
Oh.
This is Yehuda. He's an Amshin of a Chassid. And he drives with his Payas and sometimes with a Strymel. Oh, he's actually not married. On a bicycle, an electric bicycle. Look how he goes through. Look how he goes through. Show him how you go through. Look at this. Look how he goes through the traffic. It's unbelievable. Traffic.
So,
you know?
an Amshin Ever Chassid is on time. That's kind of weird. But
Oh, yeah.
you have to tell them 4 days in advance when the.
That's actually, I never thought about that, you know. But Amshin of a Rebbe is known to daven forever.
He's Lamala min Azman, as they say. He's above the parameters of time.
But even an Amshin of a Chassid
Can be. I like
be
that.
there in
See
90
that?
seconds.
I like that. Wait. So tell me. So now.
You see, I'm stuck in traffic now, right? You see,
Right.
I can just go on the sidewalk with this little thing.
This is what we're doing.
With this little thing, I go on the sidewalk, and I can just go in between. Look at this, and just drive through. You see, just in between the cars here, and a little pole. Of course, you have to be careful, but
Yeah, you got all kinds of room. This is just really special.
yeah, you see, I just went through.
We're taking out that bike a little bit.
Yeah, we're taking the bike a little, but anyways, this is the idea.
Okay.
You see, this is the idea.
Kids, don't try that at home.
Don't try it.
I was in Tzfat the other day, and it took us a really long time to get. Oh, now we're taking it with us. Okay, we're not. We have insurance, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It took us a really long time to get down from the north, and you could see how challenging it is. So I could see why this really comes in handy, having all this sort of quick technology, helicopters or whatever it might be. So he's throwing it away.
No, it's fine. So the idea of having, you see, you could have your volunteers on call in 90 seconds if you give them the right tools, the technology to know where the emergency is happening, if you give them the right vehicles, and you could make a difference. You could save people's lives. You could actually prevent brain damage. You could make sure people's lives are back to normal afterwards. Think about, God forbid, someone's having a heart attack, a stroke, a really bad accident. They can wait sometimes 20 or 25 minutes, and then the 25 minutes, this person, if he survives, that person, he's never going to be the same.
You know, you keep mentioning 90 seconds. I feel like that would make a good title for a book. What do you think?
Well, I like the idea of a book, 90 seconds. So I'm really quick. I'm really, really quick. Rabbi, when you give me a challenge, it takes you less than 90 seconds to write the book.
I was going to write a book about how we daven Psuki de Zimra and Shul, call it 90 seconds. But you beat me to it. So tell me about the book. I mean, I was at the book launch, and I spoke about it at Shul, and I'll get back to it in a second. So tell me how's it been going with the book?
Well, this book is written by Art School. They published it, so it's written by Nachman Seltzer. Rabbi Nachman Seltzer wrote 50 books.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable, and it's easy to read, which I love. People who are 90 years old and kids who are 9 years old are reading the book. It's a bestseller, thank God. It's a story about United Hatzalah and what we have done. I'm going to continue here. And United Hatzalah made a big difference in how it was established. And my personal story about United Hatzalah miracle that I had when I was sick 3 years ago with COVID, and I survived. And this was
by the way, if you don't know the story, you can look it up easily. When he says sick, he's being modest. He said goodbye to his family, and he thought he wasn't coming out of it.
Exactly. I actually said goodbye to my family, and they put me on a ventilator, I was 1 month under almost. They almost had to give up. And thanks to the davening that your shul did, and everyone else in the other shuls, and the chesed people were doing, I survived. And I'm back to normal now. I'm alive. And I'm here to say the story. And the story is in the book, 90 Seconds, and how I survived and what brought me back. I had a personal crazy situation. I was depressed. I was in a really bad condition,
and that's the story I share with the shul, because I heard you tell it. I heard it at the book opening, at the book launch in the Safra Center, and then I repeated it to the shul. And I read it in the book. I read actually passages from the book to the shul, but the story about what convinced you, if somebody's always talking to you, the story of what brought you back, the story with the Holocaust survivor and Erev Pesach, with the candles and the volunteer, and it's worth reading. I don't want to give it all up. You have to read the book, really. This book, 90 Seconds.
you can get it on Amazon. It gets there not in 90 seconds, but within a few hours.
Well, if you're Prime, it gets there a little quicker.
A day.
But where do you get the strength? I know what the story of why you came back and after your depression and being sick, etc. But where do you get the strength every day? I've been with you here for a half an hour, and you must have spoken to 40 different people. And how you pay attention, and you know everybody's name. And I've seen you in action. Great with people, knows everybody's name, knows what's going on. But how do you find the strength to continue just innovating and bringing in more volunteers? And you probably spend more time on a plane than you do in your office, because you travel so much, obviously, to recruit all the support that you do for United Hatzalah. So how do you do it?
So, well, first of all, I travel a lot. I'm on the plane, and I always say this. My kids call me Avinu Shebashamayim. That's my nickname.
I like that.
So
that's great.
They actually sing every time I leave the country. They sing Avinu, Avinu Shebashamayim.
That's so funny.
That's my name.
I love that.
And I love people. I love our volunteers. Are the best people in the world. I just introduced you to a volunteer, Eli. Eli is a great person, and he was injured in a really bad accident. He lost a leg, and he decided to go dedicate his life to save other people's lives, and he became a volunteer with United Hatzalah. Without a leg, he runs to emergencies. He actually runs faster than I do. And now he's in the Olympics. He's actually not a Paralympics, and he's a champion in the soccer field. So this is the type of people we have. When I have a picture here in my book, I have with 100 volunteers behind me. Each one of them should get the Nobel Prize. And we have men, women. We have over 1,000 women in the United Hatzalah. We have 550 Arab volunteers inside this organization, together with the Jewish volunteers. Yehuda Shomron, Tel Aviv, Haifa, Bnei Brak, Mea Shearim, and East Jerusalem, or Kfar Qasim. Everyone together. This is the only organization in Israel that is fully volunteer, and everyone's integrated inside the organization.
How many total volunteers do you have now?
Close to 7,000.
Wow. Because when we spoke with Mara, I think it was 6,500 was the number. So you're just increasing.
Well,
I'm
because
sure.
Mara did such a good job raising money in Livingston.
See that?
We were able to train more volunteers.
No, but I think that the partnership that, for instance, our community has with you, and many individuals in our community have with you, that's the lifeline, the bloodline. But it's how we could really be a part of saving lives. And it's not just we're not building a building, which is, again, these are many important causes, but what you're doing is actually saving lives and preventing loss. And Eli just showed me a video that he made to help there's a difficulty in the summer of children being locked in cars, and God forbid terrible things happen. It doesn't take long in this Jerusalem heat or in other places in the country. So things like that. But we have the opportunity to partner with, as I said earlier, somebody who literally changed the world. And I feel so privileged to know you. I feel so privileged to partner with you, and I feel so privileged to get a ride in this very cozy car. It's probably not good for a shirk date.
Actually, it gets people closer.
I don't know. Maybe not the same. I don't know.
Not kosher enough.
Maybe not. Yeah, it might be.
It could be good for a shidduch date, but not kosher enough.
Maybe like a third date.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to ask her. I'm sure a
Maybe
friend
you should
about
edit
maybe.
this. Your daughter shouldn't see this.
It's okay. She's
But
good.
listen, if you're engaged and married, and you volunteer in United Hatzalah, and your wife, spouse, is... By the way, I just saw a couple. I'm not kidding. Porvarsky, his grandfather's Rosh Hashiva of Panovich.
Oh yeah.
And I see him here with his wife and son, and all three of them are volunteers. And
Amazing.
they said for a summer activity, they're not going on vacation. They're coming for a United Hatzalah shift. You see all these ambulances here behind you? All these ambulances are volunteers doing shifts here. And we have now 80 ambulances in United Hatzalah. We're the only organization throughout Israel who do emergency services for free. So when someone calls for help and they need an emergency, heart attack, stroke, anything, we will not charge them for service.
Star 1221.
No star. Why star?
No star. You don't need the star.
No.
Up to you. No. It's,
Yeah, our number, if you call from the United States,
Oh.
if someone has a U.S. phone or a Canadian phone, and they come to Israel, it's 972-2, which is Jerusalem,
right.
538-3838,
Okay.
538-3838 in Yerushalayim, and it goes for the whole country. And if you have an Israeli SIM, it's 1221, which is really a 4-digit number.
Right. And you're one of the few that has a dedicated line, which I know was a big deal to get that. But
deal.
you know,
And still is.
all this talk about the Supreme Court in the news, but you know, for one of the
We actually have a gratitude to Supreme Court
because
because the unions. I just told you about Provarsky. This is the guy I was talking about.
See, I'm like,
And this, I'm not kidding. Here, I'm going to show you this guy. I was just talking about him.
this is the best. The best is the unscripted part.
Rabbi Dov Provarsky. I love him. His grandfather is Rosh Hashiva of Panovich. And what does he do for Bein Hazmanim, which is vacation here? Him and his wife and son are doing an ambulance shift on an ambulance that was donated in memory of Rav Moshe ben Yitzchak Yaakov. I see it on the ambulance.
זה זכות להיות אצלנו בארגון.
אצלנו בארגון.
בדיוק. אני כל יום רוצה להתקשר להגיד לך תודה רבה, אבל אני לא רוצה להפריע לך. אבל ממש כל יום.
This is a regular occurrence. You
באמת,
can't have a straight conversation. He's always busy with somebody.
אתה יודע, אתה זיכית את
Never met
כולנו
such a person like
שאנחנו
this.
יכולים לעשות
Amazing.
כזה דבר יפה.
Really.
ולהציל אנשים,
listening
לעזור, אדם אני לא רוצה לעזור לאנשים, בעת צרה.
This is one example out of 7,000 examples.
You throw a dart and you'll hit a United Hatzalah
You hit a
volunteer.
nice-
My daughter on her
Hatzalah.
trip, the one running the trip, Rachel Feld. So
Right.
she's a United Hatzalah volunteer.
Yeah, and this is the beauty.
And she has 4 little kids,
And this is
and
the
she
beauty.
volunteers. So
And we have so many couples who are volunteering. So if,
אין לי מושג.
and then this is the beauty. Someone just asked me how to get directions or something, but
that's the next version of United Hatzalah. United Hatzalah Ways.
we are going to see you in Livingston. When am I coming?
October 21st. That Shabbos, yeah.
And I call-
Parshas Noach.
All of you to come visit United Hatzalah. We'll just give you a tour.
And get the book and read about it and
go to our website,
yeah.
israelrescue.org.
And we're gonna have a great Shabbos, but I'm so grateful. Ellie, thank you so much for giving us a little bit of time so we can help spread the word. We have to do our part to save our brothers and sisters in all of Israel and to really be a part of this miracle network. It's
And
really,
this is
really
the beauty.
something.
By the way, this is the, if you see the people of United Hatzalah, volunteers, forget about the news, forget about the machlokas you see on the hatred in Yerushalayim and Tel Aviv and Haifa, people fighting. These are the guys. He goes into a demonstration in Tel Aviv where they're screaming against religious Jews and the government, and he treats people, and people hug him and kiss him because he's a tzaddik. We need more people like that.
Right? If only the news would report
אני
that.
רוצה להוסיף מילה אחת. הבן שלי אומר, אבא, אני לא רוצה לנסוע לים, לא רוצה טיולים, רק תעשה איתי משמרות.
He says, son doesn't want to go to the beach, doesn't want to go to trips, only to do shifts,
Some shifts.
in United Hatzalah.
Amazing. No.
ויש לי בן דוד שחייב את
אנחנו
החיים
באמצע
שלו.
רעיון עכשיו. And he has his cousin. He said that we saved his life. His cousin.
Amazing. Achla Gever. No, amazing,
תודה רבה,
amazing,
באמת תודה
amazing.
רבה. אני שמח לראות אותך
see,
את היום.
It's like it's the stream of consciousness with Eli Beer because it's a constant.
He's
flow.
thanking me, and I'm thanking
Right,
him.
yeah, you know, that's how it is. The mutual admiration society. But really, you should just have the strength, the health, and the nachas from your family and everything to just continue doing this incredible work. And I look forward to continuing our partnership. Great to see you here in Israel. Great to be here another riding with the Rabbi in Israel. I think I should do a whole series. Maybe I'll
Yeah, we should.
We have to
the
find
next one. If you have enough views, if you get to, how many views do we get to?
Well,
The next one,
is that
if
counting
we-
my mother or no?
Yeah, if we get to 2,000 views on this video, I'm going to give the rabbi a ride on a motorcycle, and that's when we're going to do an interview on a motorcycle. He's going to hold a pole and interview me on an ambucycle.
Okay, challenge accepted. You hear that? Everyone, do your part. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you here next time riding with the rabbi. Bye-bye.
Bye.